Okay. So we created the CV. So we created this one, right? Okay. Now let's complete the work. So what we can do simply, I'm just removing this one. So let us create a new queue name, and here so did you all try that yesterday's exercise? Just type in the chat window. I'm just using the flow chart here. Within the flow chart. So first of all, initially, so let's create a new queue. I'm creating the queue name, and the reference is like a reference. So auto retry 3. I'm just doing 3. Basically the reference, so it won't allow you to add the item. So let me see. So unique reference, right? Suppose for example, if you just try to add the same item again and again, so let's do it here. The sequence to load the data. So within that sequence, use the Excel application scope. Browse the Excel scope. So from the desktop, so we have a something like a BCV and PTO approval. So within this, so use the read range activity to read the range from the sheet, the request sheet. Okay, request sheet. Okay, and here is like a PTO. This is the data table, and so once you read the data, so what you have to do, so you have to loop each and every item and add into the queue, right? So you can just simply suppose for example, so if you just try to add for each row activity to add the items PTO and add queue item. So that is the activity to add the item to the queue. So what is the queue name? The queue name is like a BCV is the queue name, and here give the queue name and information. So information like a what is the EMPID. That is like a current row of 0.2 strings and number of days. That's like a current rows of 1.2 string. And manager, so if you want to manager, so these are all the items for the specific items, right? So for the each and every queue item. But here, so there is a reference. Okay, so if you just try to add this one, try to run this one. So what will happen? So it will throw exceptions. So what is the exceptions? The reference is required because this is a reference type. So when you are adding the items, you should provide the reference. So let's provide the reference like a, suppose for example, current a unique item, like a, suppose for example 0 and dot to string plus I want to add now dot to string. So okay, so basically a string. Okay, so what it will add? So it will add the yy hyphen mm hyphen ready. So basically it will add the at the end the date. So today, so this will add for each and every record. The employee ID is a unique thing, but the employee ID may request tomorrow another number of days, right? So maybe after 1 month, after 2 months, right? So that's why the combination of the employee ID and the square the current date, that is the combination of the reference. Let us see how it is looks like now. Let's go to the transactions. See, this is the reference here. Yeah, I put 3 M's because this will give the May 3 the character, right? So instead of 05, it shows the May, June, July, like that. Okay. So this is a reference. So this employee, so this is a combinations. Today he added. So this is a today's reference. Okay, so these are all the how many items? 18 items are there. If I try to run the same thing, so that means today again I'm just trying to add the same items, it will throw exception. So duplicate, see, duplicate reference is exception. Okay, because it won't allow you to. So yesterday's example, it is allowing us to add any number of times. Okay, so the same duplicate, same records. If you add the one more time, so we use the bulk item, right? So we added the again one more set of the records. It won't throw exception, but here it is throwing the exception because it is not allowed the duplicate reference type. Okay, so if I run the same thing tomorrow, it will execute. Understand? So when this will very useful, suppose for example, so one thing I saw is like, so there is a city names. Okay, I saw like so Bangalore, Chennai. Okay, so what they have to do, so they have to search for every day, daily, one time for the Bangalore. Okay, so this is a, just imagine this is a transaction item. Okay, so what they will do, so they have some other information also. They make this as a reference with the today's date now. Okay, today's date in the sense. So if the dispatcher try to execute, so one more time, okay, so it won't allow the Bangalore. So if it's already added the Bangalore today, it won't allow again. Okay, so tomorrow it will allow. Okay, it's because the date will change, right? The combination is of the date is a unique reference. Yeah, it is allowed. Okay, Sneha is asking. So if we use like a so seconds or ticks, so okay, seconds, it will allow. Okay, so basically, so it's not like yes, it's not like that. So we have to allow or not. Okay, so it's a one future. So we have to okay, so we have to make that feature useful. So it's not like a, so it's not allowing. So we have to make that as allowed. You are correct, Sneha. If you use the seconds, definitely it will allow because the seconds will change. But we have to think, not we should not think like, so how can we allow those things into the queue? So it's not like that. So the requirement is like, see, so the requirement is like, so for Bangalore, it has to do the it has to add the single line item for the day. Okay, tomorrow again the Bangalore it has to add. So in that case, you have to use the date. If you use the seconds, it won't. It will add the multiple Bangalore transaction items. It's based on the, and also normally sometimes what will happen, it's a totally unique record. Okay, so one transaction, if it's already added, so you should not add further, so in the same record. Okay, so it should not add the duplicates in that time. So what they will do, they will just concatenate the multiple columns and make as a unique reference ID, or some data has the unique number itself. So for example, PAN card number. Okay, there's a unique number, so they have to search the PAN card number one time. So in that cases, it's based on the requirement. Understand? And also not only that, so there is another thing like a suppose for example, there's a you added the Bangalore records. Okay, so Bangalore records, Chennai records. There's another thing is like, so I saw one of the project. It is like, so if you add multiple things, so with the reference of the city name. Okay, suppose, so normally if you use a get transaction item, what it will take, it will take the latest new item, but they don't want to take the latest new item, they don't want to take the, okay, so the latest new item from the other set of values. Okay, let me take one more example to showcase. Otherwise, so let's take this one itself, employee. Okay, so we have a city name. So let us just try to concentrate here. So we'll see the best usage of. I'm just deleting this one. Let me add again. We'll see the usage of reference. So I'm just using the reference. Yes, reference, adding the reference. And now, so we have a empty data. We don't have a transaction yet. And while we are adding, so what we'll do, so here in the add transaction item, so add the city name also, and that is like a current row of 3 to string. And in the reference, so what we will do, so we just take the city name. Okay, city name. Okay, underscore today. Okay, city name underscore today. So but this won't allow, right? So because the Bangalore having the multiple items, so okay, so Hyderabad having the multiple items. So if it's Hyderabad having the multiple items, so you don't allow the second item. Okay, so for that what we can do, so we can just use something like a hours let's say seconds. And also just giving the some delay, so 1 second delay here. Okay, now let us see, we don't have any data here. Let us try to run this one. Okay, what we done, so in the reference session, so the city name underscore and the date and time with the seconds. So then it will try to add the multiple items. So even though it is a Bangalore, the same city, suppose Kochi is there, Kochi underscore some particular number. So if you go for the seconds, then it is a unique. So if you go for the date, it is the duplicates, because the Kochi has multiple items. Let us see here. Let us see reference priority. Okay, Understand? So Ongole and 15 items are there. And yeah, 18, totally 18 items are there. So now, so tell me, so if I just use the get transaction item, so which one it will take? So it will take this one or this one. Chennai is a or Hyderabad. Just type in the chat window. Okay. If I use a get transaction item, if I use a get transaction item, it will take the Chennai only because this is a first, right? First in, first out. Do you understand? First in, first out. This is the first one. This is the next one. This is the last one. Hyderabad is the last one. Yeah. Okay, let's take the get transaction item. In the get transaction item, so if you specify the name of the this one, what is the output of the get transaction item? Type in the chat window. What is the output of the get transaction item? Q item. Okay, perfect. Okay, so you get the Q item. So normally, how can we get a specific field value? Suppose how can you get a specific field value from that? Which method we are using? Not item specific. Specific content is a method, not item specific. Okay. Specific content is a method. These are all the interview questions. The common interview questions. Okay. I'm just setting the transaction status equal to success. Transaction item BC and what is the success? It is already success. Okay. Now we're getting the item. So you said Chennai, right? So Chennai, let's run. We have 18 items. It taken the Chennai, the last one. Let us see the transaction items. Refresh the items. Refresh and see it is a successful. Okay, it's taken as per you. But so what is the next item? Just type in the chat window. What is the next item? If I run again, what it will take? Bangalore, right? But the thing is like, so even though there is a lot of items are there, so initially they want to close all the Kochi items. Okay, all the Kochi items. They want to close. They want to finish these items, Kochi items. So how can we do? Because if you give the get transaction item directly, it will go to the first item. Let us go to the get transaction item. There is a something called reference. See reference, okay. So here is a filter criteria, whether it is equal to or such starts with. Just type Kochi. If it is a starts reference is starts with the Kochi underscore, then take those things. Okay, it is a string double quotes. Kochi. If it is a reference is starts with a Kochi, then take that one and finish. Let us try to do. This is a real-time scenario. Like so, sometimes what we have to do. So even though there is a lot of items are available, so in the queue, so they have to only complete the specific type of value. See, it is not taking the Bangalore, it is taking the Kochi and success. So if I just try to run again, and it will just take the Kochi item. All the Kochi items it will finish. 2 times. Let's try the third time. let's go and see, wherever the Kochi is there, it is a success. Do you understand the importance of reference type in the queue? Okay, so one is like a filtering. For filtering purpose, it is a very useful. Another thing is like if you want to add only one time, okay, so per that particular day, so you can use that reference. Okay, now let us do our actual thing. I'm just going here and paste the transaction item, and there is PTO, okay, automation, something like that. Here, okay, we just loaded the data into the orchestrator queue, loaded the items into the orchestrator queue, and we are getting the single item. Okay, so once we get the single item, let's remove the reference. So we're just taking the latest item only. Let me recreate so to see the fresh items without reference. So reference, I just want to showcase to you. So that's why. Okay, reference. Okay, now let us see. No, we do not have any transaction items at all. Okay. Now, so what we done in the load session? So load session will read the data from the Excel and it will fill the in the data. Okay, it will fill in the where in here, right? So the transaction items. Okay. Now, so it is getting the item from the queue. Okay. Then once it is getting the item from the queue, flow decision. So we're just using the flow decision because so maybe sometimes there might not be having the any items, all right? So we're checking whether the transaction, the output of this one is like a so this queue item is empty or not. Okay, let me open here, checking that. So B, this is nothing. Okay, so what it means? If it is nothing, then that means let me is not nothing. Okay, if it is not nothing, that means it has a some value. Okay, new queue item, the new item found, it will go this side. Otherwise, what it will do, it will just use a log message, and just simply close the application. No items. Okay, so if yes, that means we have items. What we have to do? So we have to check for that. So let us. So initially here, I'm just loading the read range activity. Read range for what? So there is some other application is there, right? The Excel, separate Excel is there. So where we can just for the balance, employee data, having the balance, the number of balance is there. Okay, here that's the BCV. Employee DT. Okay, so employee DT is the balance. So now once we get the data, we have to check whether this is available in the employee DT or not. So use the filter data table. There's a filter data table here. So what we are filtering? So we are filtering that employee dt is equal to result dt. Okay, so what we have to, we have to keep the values. So if employee dt, where is that? Employee dt is matching the employee ID. So suppose, for example, this employee ID, it has to match. Employee ID, it has to match, is equal to, what is that? Content item dot specific content of, what is the transaction? I think emp ID dot to string. Okay. So and suppose, for example, here this number of PTO balance is PTO balance is less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. Okay, so what they requested, BCO dot specific content of, I'm just converting the C int, so because as it is an integer, let us check the name which we used while we were adding the item. So this one, number of days. Use this one. If the number of days they requested to, and the balance is a greater than or equal to that one, so then it is approved. Okay, so this result table, result dt contains the data that is approved. Okay, let us use the flotation. Okay, so approve. Okay, so basically this is approved. Result data table dot rows dot count is equal to result data table dot rows dot rows. What happened? Result dt is not there. Result dt is a data table. Okay. Where the greater than 0, it means it's approved. Otherwise, it's rejected. As a success. Success means approved. So business exceptions are failed, and the business exception reason you can specify as PTO balance is less than, as do not have PTO balance. Okay, so failed and business exception and this one. Okay, so what is the other things? So you have to give the transaction item. Okay, now this is done. If you want to send the mail, send SMTP mail message. Okay, so just do this one. So if it's approved, approved. If it's rejected, rejected. Here is the status. status. Okay, status is like a approved and status is like a rejected. Whether it is approved or rejected, so we have to send a mail. Okay. To whom we have to send result data table dot rows rows 0 dot to string not 0. Okay. So here we have email IDs, right? So I'm just using my email ID because it's all the dummy email IDs, right? So this is a column name. So this will just go for the okay. This is a two email ID. What is that? So rows of 0. Okay, and subject is like so PTO status and the body you have to mention like a what is the name? Where we'll get the name? Maybe here we will get the name. Employee name. Okay, so let's build like that. So hi result data table dot rows of 0 of this column name dot to string plus comma. If you want to use a break br, so your PTO request status is, so then what is the status? Okay, that is a rejected or, and again br thanks and br and RPA bot. The bot is sending the things. So suppose for example you have to H1 for this whole. There is basically a header. So making that is let me ask password here itself. Password, get password. Gmail password. Just increase the scope to the top level, and here the send email ID. So what we're doing in the send email ID. So here, what is the port number? What is the port number? 465. Okay. Now the email ID. The email ID which and the password. Okay. So to address everything is given. So on the Gmail ID is also the same, and CC, if you want to give the CC, you can give the CC. Okay. Now see, so once one item is done, so what we have to do again? So we have to connect this one to the again to the another email, right? Another item. Okay. let's connect this. This one, the transaction item. Okay, so that means, so once that is done, so it will try to identify the another item. So another item, just go through the same process. We just build the. Let me explain. So first we are taking the item. So it will check the item is available or not. If this item is empty, it will go and stop the process. If this item is not empty, so then it will go here and filter the item. So whether this is approved or not. So if it's approved, it will go here and update the status to the success. If it's not approved, so it has to update the status to the business exception. So both the sides is approved or rejected. So it is updating the status and send a mail to the particular email ID which mentioned in the Excel and go and check. So it's like a loop. Let us try. Currently, we do not have items. So just check the items. We don't have items, and also we don't have a mails. So I'm just using the normal Gmail. UiPath Gmail. Okay. Let's try to run this bot. So initially, what it will do is it will just add the items to the queue. It is adding three items added. Okay. Just see. So 5 items added. So it's adding, increasing the items. 6 items added. Okay. So the load part will just load the items to the queue. So that is the dispatcher part. Okay. So but we build the dispatcher and performer in the same file. So usually some projects, most of the projects, they will just separate the code. Like a dispatcher is separate and performer is separate. 17 items. Yeah. Okay, and also you just check. So whether it is a taking and processing the items. So the send SMTP, there is no row at position 0. So there is no row at position 0. Okay. Let me debug. Which one is the column name? Yeah, got it. I got it. Okay, so there is a rejected. So one is rejected, so that's why it should not send the email. Okay, so if it's rejected, if they want to send a mail, so to whom we have to send? So where is it rejected? Okay, so there is a small a change. Basically, filter data table. And the filter data table is you're using. So here what we can do, so employee DT and current employee DT. Okay, current employee DT. So basically I'm just removing this PT balance. Okay, look at only the one item, and here current employee equal to current employee, and PTO balance is equal to, is less than, greater than or equal to, here the value. Okay, so now this is like a result. This is like a result DT. Okay, the result DT contains the actual data. The result DT, it will check the result DT and it will just update the result DT. And here instead of result DT is because it is giving the current data table. Okay, because if it's a balance is not there, so what it will do? So it will just simply, let me, it's a success 3 or success, right? So maybe it is a failure. Let's check the emails. So we got emails also. That's okay. PT request email also we got. Hi Mahesh, Avinash, okay, Dinesh. No need to delete, but for just for your understanding, I'm just deleting and recreating fresh queue item. Let's try to run. Items are adding, and if you see items added, and also this is going for the process also. 18, it has to come 18. Okay, so 18 came, and if you see, so it is picking the one by one success, two success. Okay, again we got that there is no, so that means rejection, and it went to here. Oh, maybe in the body of the mail. Body of the mail is also we have to change. Okay, so let us try. Okay, one more time. Actually, so no need to, I mean, recreate a queue every time. So we have to delete the items, but instead of making the fresh item, I'm just doing like this. Okay. And also mails, I'm just cleaning that mails. You can see now. Okay, so how many? Just see. 9. 9 is there. 15. 18. So now the load part is done. Okay, let us see now. The success, 2 success. If you just check the email, you can see the Mahesh and success. You can see the another mail. So she is approved. Again, there is a lot of mails. So she rejected. So Bhavesh is rejected. Okay. Dinesh, we're getting the mails. So I gave the my mail ID only. We just see. Yeah, approved. Approved. Bhavesh is rejected. 8 mails came. Rajesh is again rejected. See. Approved. Publish is approved. Okay, so let us see the key items. Because few are failed. So why it is a failed? Because of the system exception, business exception. So okay, not approved. We can just check one item. So it's, let's go to the employee Excel. Check for that particular employee. This employee is like a Chandra. 2 is a actual balance. 2 is okay. He's a Chandra, and 2 is the balance, but actually they rise for the 7 days. Okay, so actually how much he has? He has a 7, but see Chandra rejected. Okay, do you understand? this use case. Any doubts in this queues? Basically, the queues is done, and if you see, so the next topic is like state mission, and final thing is RE framework. So we have to reject with the state mission, but you will see that tomorrow freshly. Okay. So state mission is very important. So you need to know the state mission. So before going to the RE framework, otherwise it will get a lot of confusion. Do you all understand today's use case? Just try by yourself. So uh, if you have any doubts, you can just speak now in the total queue items. So this is a use case. Load and get. Okay, we'll see tomorrow. So almost time is also up, but we'll see the tomorrow so that's state mission concept. Firstly, that and if time permits, we will just go for the practical example also. Okay, thank you very much. So we'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye. Have a great day.